but ultimately it kind of comes down to what you're talking about, which is the process and understanding the process. And I know that's something that you advocate very strongly for in terms of when you're looking at your technology stack and you're looking at that best of suite versus best of breed or a hybrid solution. It's about addressing the big problems and starting with the process. And how do you find much resistance to that within teams? Are people kind of like jumping at solutions where they see something shiny? Do you have to kind of bring people back to the process, or do you think it's something that people get straight away?
Well, that depends on the stakeholders. Ultimately, there's one thing that I've seen working very, very well that I learned in IT. It's user-centric design. So when you want to implement a system, so the last one I did like that was a demand management and portfolio management system. I start with the personas. Who is going to use the tool? It's the procurement managers, it's the CPOs, it's top management, and it may be the end user or the functional stakeholder. And for each of them, I start to write a user flow because they will not do the same thing in the system. So we write the flow in full. I log into the system for what? For consulting reports, for inputting new initiative, for updating initiative, for this, for that. And then, thanks to that, you can build first roles and responsibilities that you configure in the system, a kind of permission table to make sure that they have the experience that they're supposed to have. They see what they're supposed to see. A lot of frustration is, oh, I cannot see my contract, for example, or I cannot see this or that. When you do user-centric design, you minimize this type of problem to start with, and you really talk granular to the person who's supposed to use the system. And I remember that on the launch, this is a system which had the most positive feedback, because finally it was designed for specific people and not for specific functions. What we see in the Big Four implementation of large systems, they have very strong structures, they have very good methodology, but it's not user-centric, it's process-centric. We need to force a process on the users. And that's why you have problems with adoptions. Yes, it's good to optimize processes, but you need to think of the users as well.